I talk a lot about tech, Apple devices, productivity, and everything in between. But what really powers my day is not just the gear that I use, but also the apps on my iPhone made by Apple that you've probably never heard of. Hey everyone, it's Lewis here. Hope you're having an amazing day. And today we're going to be doing a bit of a roundup of some of the free apps that I've been using that are made by Apple but don't come pre-installed. Now, some of these aid my video production, while others I use just to check sports scores, but all of them have earned a spot on my iPhone. This video is sponsored by the like button. Click it below to find out more. First up is the Final Cut Camera app. This is my go-to iPhone app when I record any video that I want to use for YouTube. Now, why would you use this app over the default camera app? Well, the answer is control. And that's because the default camera app on the iPhone allows you to quickly swap your resolution, your frame rate, and your exposure, but that's it. It's designed to be intentionally simple, nothing too complicated for the everyday user who just wants to point and shoot a video of their dog. However, the Final Cut Camera app gives you far greater video control. We're talking about options to change video codec, HDR settings, resolution, and frame rate controls, as well as adapting your white balance, your exposure, and the ability to use manual focus or swap your camera's focal length. Then, in the app settings, you can find helpful toggles such as grid overlay, level, exposure, and focus guides to make sure that your shot is perfect. And for those who shoot in log or ProRes, you can apply a preview LUT to your footage, and that's going to allow you to see what your shot will look like once you apply that LUT in post. By the way, if you wanted to know the LUT that I use on all my videos, check out the link to my digital downloads in the video description. Lastly, if you use Apple's video editor Final Cut Pro, but on your iPad specifically, you can live stream your iPhone's camera feed straight to your iPad. Now, one nuance with the Final Cut Camera app is that any video that you take inside that app are saved inside of a camera roll that's only accessible within the Final Cut Camera app, not your iPhone's regular Photos app. I'm not sure why that is, but it's something that you should be aware of. Moving on, next we have the Support app. If you've been inside the Apple ecosystem for as long as I have, or you own several Apple devices like me, you've probably had to contact Apple Support at some point. While this app is designed to make that experience as seamless and as easy as possible, it tries to replicate visiting the Apple Store for assistance as much as possible. Right inside the app, you can see every device tied to your Apple account, its AppleCare status, and the various support options for each device. Upon selecting a support topic for a device, you can see the various applicable help articles or what your Apple support options are. Now, I've used this several times in the past, such as replacing a lost AirPod, singular, without having to buy whole new AirPods entirely, or when I smashed my iPhone screen and I needed to arrange a repair. This is an app that you hope you never need, but it's really super handy when you do. Staying on the theme of Apple devices, next up is the Apple Store app. This is Apple's official shopping app for browsing and purchasing Apple devices and accessories. Not to be confused with the App Store, the Apple Store app is specifically for buying physical Apple products. Put simply, it's the Apple website, but as an app. And there are three main sections. There's For You, which is personalized recommendations and order tracking. There's Products, which is just browse the latest hardware. And there's Go Further, which is tips and Today at Apple sessions. When shopping for products on the app, you've got everything that Apple sells: iPad, iPhone, Mac, Apple Watch, AirPods, all the accessories. And if you've got any extra cash to spend, then Apple Vision Pro. You've got all the customization options for RAM, storage, including free engraving. And there's even an exclusive customization only available within this app where you can add an emoji engraving to your AirPods case.
Wow!
You can use Apple's trading valuation tool to check what your current device is worth. There are all the multiple payment options, including Apple Pay and finance plans. You can track your order status all the way from purchase to delivery to your house. And fun fact, it even shows the same store offline message as apple.com when WWDC is on, or when the Apple product live streams are being broadcast. Next up is an app that was launched somewhat quietly without major fanfare, which is Apple Sports. This is a free, dedicated sports app from Apple for tracking scores, stats, fixtures, and all the play-by-play updates, and it even comes with a lock screen and home screen widgets that are going to show live activity. You can browse every major league from most major sports around the world. There's all the American sports, NBA, NHL, MLB, MLS. There's also Premier League, Champions League, and for me and my team, the Championship. The really simple interface shows yesterday's results, today's games, and all the upcoming fixtures. You can tap any game to see league standings and even the venue details. Now, I assume Apple made this app as part of their strategy for creating campaign apps that feed into the broader ecosystem, such as Apple TV subscriptions, because you can now watch baseball in the MLS. And there are other apps that have been like this for a long time, but being an Apple first-party app, you know you're going to get a clean and functional experience. And for me, and most importantly, there are no adverts. Finally, the last app I want to mention is Airport Utility. No, nothing to do with planes, but it actually gets its name from the old Apple networking products that they used to make years ago, so shout out if you remember those. But the main purpose of this app is to manage those old Apple network devices if you have one. And as you can see here, I still use an airport time capsule, but I use it as a network storage device. However, the best part of this app is the secret hidden feature, which is the ability to scan Wi-Fi networks and see advanced information. Now you may have to turn this on inside the iPhone settings app by scrolling to apps, going on to Airport Utility, and checking Wi-Fi scanner. But why is this good? Well, believe it or not, no other app on the App Store can do this, because Apple intentionally limits the Wi-Fi antenna APIs in iOS and doesn't let anyone else use them. So if you're somewhat familiar with networking and Wi-Fi setups, you know how useful seeing channel density and signal strength measured in decibel milliwatts can be. And it's a crucial tool when trying to set up reliable Wi-Fi, particularly if you live in an area with neighbors where you might be competing for Wi-Fi airspace. Anyway, that's all for me. I hope you've enjoyed some of these iOS apps that I've shared with you today. And let me know down below in the comments what your favorite Apple apps are. And you never know, who knows, maybe you'll be featured in a future video. Thanks so much for watching. Take care. Peace.